Welcome back. President Trump has been talking about immigration a lot this week, and Democratic lawmakers say it's a pre-election stunt. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent, Alexander Lamone, joining us now. Alex, great to have you with us. Let's talk first about the administration's response to this charge of it being a stunt.
Well, the administration and the president himself have addressed it head on, saying it's not a political stunt. He points to the caravan, that migrant caravan headed to the U.S., and he says they're on their way here. So this isn't a stunt. And in fact, the president just announced that he will be signing an executive order to deal and change how migrants can seek asylum in the United States, and then also to deal with how they will be held. He says they will be now held indefinitely in camps and tents rather than being released into the interior, something he calls catch and release. So they're taking action, and he says it's not just political talk or political rhetoric.
So Democrats and Republicans, especially those who are up for election, they're out talking about this as well. We pretty much know what partisan viewpoint we're going to get from them, but have you been talking to others as well outside of elected officials, and what type of a perspective are you getting from them?
Yeah, I've talked to political strategists, both those who are working to get Republicans elected into Congress, as well as Democrats, and also to some political professors in the area. And what they say is this is a little bit of both. The president's comments on immigration, they are real topics that he really wants to take action on, but also it is political. That's what these strategists say, because the timing of it's coming just 1 week or just the days leading up to the election. So they point that out, and they also point out things like the fact that this migrant caravan is weeks away from reaching the U.S. border. So they say there's not really a reason to be sending troops to the border now, other than the midterm election is just a few days away.
All right, and as we talk about the president, he certainly has been keeping up a pretty heavy travel schedule just leading up to the election as well. What do you make of his strategy in getting around and traveling the way he is right now?
Right. Just in the last week before the election, his goal was to go to 8 states and hold something like 11 different rallies. And it's an interesting strategy because he's really focusing on these really tight Senate races, and especially races where Democrats currently hold that Senate seat. And there is a real possibility for a Republican to take that seat from them, like in Missouri, possibly even places like Florida and West Virginia. But the places he's not going to is also very interesting. We're talking about, suburban districts that are tight races in the House, and that really could determine which party is in control of the House next year. And President Trump really has not been and is not a central figure in those. He's not going out to those controversial, up-in-the-air congressional districts, for example, some in Orange County, California, or also right here in Fairfax County, Virginia, our own backyard, because those are places where the president may not be quite as popular.
All right, yeah, definitely an interesting strategy. We'll see how it plays out. Appreciate your time. As always, thanks for being with us. Coming up in Utah's 4th Congressional District, it's a race that's being watched all across the country. Our panel will weigh in on the impact after the break. Stay with us.